Chapter 15, the nobles. So we just got dealing with the Druids, now we're going to deal with the nobles. Altering. Another, meaning another class of people, is, and another type, is of the Equites, and we talked about that already. And these guys, when there is, remember the kun can mean when or when specifically. Indicative means specificity. When there is a use, or it's really a need, and some war, incident, occurs, happens, strikes really. So whenever there is a need or some war goes down, which almost was accustomed to go down, to happen, before the arrival of Caesar. So we're talking about, Caesar's talking about before the generations before his involvement in Gaul, so 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. So when some war goes down, which was accustomed to happen every single year, quote Anis, in all the years before the arrival of Caesar, that either they themselves would bring on the injuries, in other words, they would be the instigators, or they would repel those injuries having been brought, implied against them. And so he's saying that the war is going to be half and half most of the time. Most of the time, or half the time I should say, they were the instigators, being these nobles, or somebody else instigated it to them. They are all active. Now the verb versare, it does not mean to turn, but it means to be involved. They are all involved in war. So they are rather belligerent people, this class of the Equites. And, atque, as, and I know that it is as, when I say an ut, when there is an indicative. And as each, remember quidque means each, and as each of them, every single one of those nobles, of those Equites, and as each of them is most ample, most full, with abundances, and with type, and by this genere it means with like money, essentially, for all intents and purposes. Ita, in such a way, each person has around him ambactos, retainers, hangers-on, and clients. And what kind of retainers and clients? Very many of them. So when they go off to war, which remember is going to be going down almost every single year, and half the time they are the instigators and half the time the others, and all of those nobles, they are involved in war, and as each of them is most ample in his type, in other words, the type of guy that has the money, and in his abundances, in such a way he has very many superlative retainers and clients around him. Remember when Orgetorix wanted to escape from the trial? He called in his people. 10,000 was referred to as the number of his family. It's like a mafia family. And so therefore, yes, they fight in wars all the time, but they got their army with them, their posse. They have known, no scope, no scare, no we, and by have known I mean enjoy, they have known this one welcomeness, this one advantage. Gratias is of course welcomeness, but here it's going to be like, or thanks, but here it's going to be like advantage. So they haven't known, they have enjoyed this one advantage and power. And that's the power of having the influence of all of these people that are, of course, associated with them. And they need it because they're fighting all the time. And they're fighting in almost every single year. So, study chapter 15, 16 is coming later.